Yo, 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 what is happening, everybody? Hope you're all good in the hood, and hopefully everybody's fine and dandy. Uncle Andy out enjoying the sunshine and possibly getting your steps in. My hat's always slender. Whilst you're listening to my beautiful voice. Probably the only one to ever say that, ever. But welcome to number 6, episode number 6. I'm pretty sure it's number 6. I am pretty sure it's number 6. If it's not number 6, I don't really care. But welcome to number 6. We'll call it number 6 anyway. Today, we are going to talk about scale weight. Why it's important, what to look for, what to forget about, what's important to know about scale weight, and why you should be tracking it.
Now listening to the Caffeine and Coaching Podcast by Ricky Cosgrove. We talk everything from my caffeine addiction to the fact that I coach frustrated men and women to lose weight, get into shape and bulletproof their confidence without having to give up the foods they love. Sit back, take some notes, and I will catch you in today's episode.
So, I know I'm drinking water today. Monster, I've already had my Monster. I'm trying to cut down on it a wee bit. So just one per day, sort of at the start of the day. Today is the evening time, so stay away from the caffeine so I can get to sleep at night. But I'm on a water now, but I've had my Monster. Chill out. Scale weight. Right, I've got a couple of bullet points down here. I did the poll on Instagram. People were clicking saying they want to know about scale weight. What's the best way to track it? What to do? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? About fluctuations, about what you should be looking at and what you should be forgetting about, and pretty much what's going to happen in terms of gyms opening up again and what you should be focused on. So that's what we're going to talk about. If you don't want to hear about that, see you later. Click away now. Come back to episode number 7. If you do want to know about that, then stay here and I will talk you through it now. So the do's. Whenever it comes, we'll do the don'ts first. So the don'ts whenever it comes to tracking your weight, your scale weight, your body weight, etc. The don'ts is do not do it weekly. Don't do it weekly. You're shooting yourself in the face if you do it weekly. Don't do it monthly. Monthly slightly better than weekly because it kind of negates somewhat the fluctuations. But again, it's just not optimal. It's not the best way of doing it. Weekly is just a farce. That's why you see the slimming clubs, etc. They go and they weigh you weekly. Flip me, you could be wearing heavier shoes that day. You could have not went for a poo in 2 days, which is going to be affected on the scale because you still the stuff inside you. And that's why it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Again, if I stand on the scale now, it's going to tell me a number. If I then drink the rest of this water, drink the full thing, step on the scale, it's going to tell me something different. But I haven't just gained weight, or I haven't just gained fat, I've gained weight. The weight is coming from the water. The scale's now weighing the water on top of me, or inside me, should I say. It's important to remember that the scale is only a reflection of your gravitational pull to the earth, okay? That's all it is. It cannot differentiate between body fat, water, muscle mass, bone density, whether you still have feces, to put it correctly, inside you because you haven't been to the loo in a couple of days or 24 hours, however regular you are, I don't really care. But it can't differentiate between these things. Again, if I set this mug on a scale, it may say 1 kilogram. If I set this phone on a scale, maybe say 1 kilogram. If I set them both on a scale, it's going to tell me 2 kilograms. It can't tell me, Ricky, that's 1 kilogram of iPhone and that's 1 kilogram of mug. It just can't. It's just going to tell me the total weight, the number on the scale, and that's it. It's important that we know how to read it and what it's actually telling us. So the don't is, don't do it weekly, and preferably don't do it monthly because the fluctuation factors still come into it whenever you do it monthly. So the do's. The best, most optimal way to weigh yourself is daily. Okay? Every single day, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, do a number 1, number 2, whatever you need to do, and step on the scale and log what it says every single day. That way it becomes a habit. That way you get used to doing it. Yes, you're going to see the fluctuations up and down, but we'll cover fluctuations in a wee second. But what you do then at the end of the week is, I would say, the best, most optimal way is 7 days per week. Stand on it every day. You get in that habit. You just get up, do it, log it. Get up, do it, log it. The end of the week, you add all the days together, divide it by 7. That'll give you your weekly average. That will negate the fluctuations that we're going to talk about in a wee second. But the reason for the average is so that it gives you a broader overview of what exactly is going on. Then you compare the averages of each week. You don't compare daily, because I say it's going to fluctuate. You compare the weekly averages. Week 1 average against week 2 average, week 2 average against week 3 average. For most people, for males, a large majority of females, what you're better actually doing is doing week 1 against week 1, week 2, week 2, week 3, week 3, week 4, week 4. I mean, month number 1, month number 2, week 1, week 1, week 2, week 2, week 3, week 3, week 4, week 4. That way for females, you're going to be in the same stage of your time of the month. The hormones are going to be at the same level, more accurately, than doing week to week, because of your hormonal cycle and what goes on. You hold water retention at certain times of the month, where other times of the month you don't hold that water retention, so the scale is going to go ski whiffing all over the place. So that's why females do month to month in terms of week 1 average, week 2 average, week 1 average against week 1 average of month 2. I'm going to get tongue tied saying this, but you get what I mean. So month 1 has 4 weeks, month 2 has 4 weeks, and compare them that way, okay? That's going down another road. I maybe do a podcast about that. I've got the slides drawn up for the female diet for the team, and I maybe do a podcast on it as well at some stage. But fluctuations in the scale can come from so many different things. When the last time it was you went to the toilet, the time of the day that you weigh in, food and drink, when the last time you had a meal, when the last time you drunk, and obviously time of the month for the ladies, as we were saying. The average kind of negates those fluctuations. So, for instance, if you get up, the best time to weigh in is first thing in the morning. You're waking up, you go to the bathroom, go to the toilet, step on a scale. The reason that's the best time is because you've pretty much fasted, you've pretty much went without eating and drinking for, on average, the same amount of time normally for most people, whilst they're sleeping. So then it's just a more accurate way to be consistent with it, as opposed to getting up and weighing at 12 o'clock one day and getting up and weighing at 6 p.m. the other day. The best, most accurate way, again, it's never going to be perfect, but it's the most accurate and most optimal, is first thing in the morning you wake up, you go in, go to the bathroom, jump on a scale, log it. Do that every single day, then take the weekly average. Your time that you have a meal can affect it, because even if you weigh in first thing in the morning, if, for instance, most nights I have my last meal at like 8 p.m, if tonight I get held back and I end up having my last meal at 9 p.m, that will affect it, because that meal is still in my system, it's still in there, it's not as broken down as what it was, so it's probably going to affect the scale weight in the morning. That doesn't mean I've gained fat. I'm still in a calorie deficit, I'm still going to lose body fat. The scale's just weighing what's inside me. Again, it can't tell what's body fat, what's muscle mass, what's bone density, what's water, what's food. It can't tell the difference. So that's why the weekly average is important, so that it kind of negates those fluctuations. You can look from week to week and see the drop coming down there. Again, women, month to month, see the peaks and troughs will come along, but as long as the trend is going in the correct way. What they look for in terms of scale weight manipulate or fluctuations, it's not even fluctuations, sorry, what to look for in terms of scale progression if you're looking to lose weight, lose body fat, get into shape. On average, you should be looking for approximately about 1% drop per week. Everybody used to talk about you should be dropping like 1, 2, 3 pounds per week, etc., etc. The only issue with that is if you have somebody sitting that's 280 pound and you have somebody sitting at 160 pound, £3 for somebody sitting at 280 isn't a big chunk of their total amount, so that'd be pretty handy for them to drop pretty easy. £3 for somebody sitting at 160, depending on the person, is actually quite a lot of their percentage body mass. So what you're better doing is a percentage basis. So a 1% difference is going to be a 1% difference for each person, no matter whether you're 280 or you're 160 or you're 140 or you're 190. Doesn't matter. 1% is 1%. So somebody at 280 could look at dropping a couple of pounds per week. Somebody at 140, even getting away with maybe dropping half a pound to a pound per week is totally fine, as long as it's sort of 1%. So you can work that out yourself from whatever body weight you are, pretty much. It's a good way to go past. But what's very, very important as well is don't just rely on scale weight. Do it if you can. The only time I would recommend not doing it is if you're somebody who is overly focused on the scale and you have a really bad relationship with the scale and seeing those fluctuations. Now, I don't mean if you stand on the scale and you just don't like that you've gone up a pound this day and you've gone down half a pound this day and you see the fluctuations, you just don't like it. Nobody likes it. I mean, if you really have a really bad situation where you look at the scale, you see a slight fluctuation and you freak the fuck out and you reach for the sweets and the scrams and Domino's is on the phone getting ordered and you're munching on everything because you've got that negative relationship with it. If it's that bad, stay away from the scale. If it's not that bad, then fucking weigh yourself, you'll be grand. But also doing measurements and pictures. Ideally, I get Team CWC to do all of them. Weight, measurements and pictures. If you have to negate the scale, do the measurements, do the pictures. Again, measurements once a month, pictures once a month, totally fine. Just realise that if you don't have the weekly average scale weight to kind of go by, measurements are going to drop a bit slower than the scale weight, and the pictures, to see differentiation, is that even a thing? In pictures is harder than, again, seeing scale weight and seeing measurements. So as long as you're comfortable with it being a slightly longer process, because you're not going to be able to catch anything as quick as if you were tracking all of them and make changes straight away whenever you need to. You're probably going to have to wait a month before you look at it and say, right, shit, this hasn't worked this month, let's make a change. Where if you're doing it weekly, then you can look at it and say, right, this hasn't worked, look back at the trends, you'll be able to manage it quicker and be able to say, right, we need to change something now. So maybe instead of going a month with no changes, you might have to go maybe a week or two before you go changing something up. What to expect whenever gyms open again is the other thing. So that's what I put. If you're going from training from home with resistance bands, some exercise equipment that you have at home, and you're planning on going back into gym-based training with a plethora of exercise equipment and an stupid amount of access to weights, and overload through getting stronger and adding weight to the bar, etc., you are most likely, I'd say very, 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 very likely going to actually put weight on over the next couple of weeks. Gyms open on Monday. Please do not expect to drop scale weight for the next couple of weeks, I would say. The reason for this, don't freak out, is because of inflammation, water retention. Your body's under different stress that it hasn't been under in 6+ months, that it's not used to. So for the majority of people, the stress, the water retention and the inflammation is going to be reflected on the scale. So you're probably not going to drop that average or drop that 1% for the next couple of weeks if you're transitioning back in the gym training. That's not to say that you're not going to be making progress. You're still going to be dropping body fat because you're in a calorie deficit. It's just the scale doesn't know what's fat, what's muscle, what's water, like I explained earlier. So hopefully that makes sense. In terms of meals, what you're going to realise is if you were at the gym before, or if you've never gymmed before, to be fair, you're going to go through a recomposition phase where, like myself, dropped a wee bit of muscle, going back into the gym, training hard, putting more weight on the bar, getting stronger, you're going to be gaining that muscle back again. The scale can't tell what's muscle, what's fat, what's water, so it's going to fluctuate even more in terms of that. Females, you're also going to gain a wee bit of muscle. You are, but you're not going to look like a bodybuilder unless you're going to jab yourself in the butt cheek with some hormones. You're not going to look manly. Don't freak out. We know this by now. I would like to think you're going to get toned, you're going to get a nice shape, you're going to get that lean tissue on the places that you want to get, and you're going to look awesome, okay? So don't freak out about gaining muscle. You're not going to look like a bodybuilder. But that's also going to be affected on the scale. So the females, then you have to break it down a wee bit further, and you're now saying, okay, so the females have the stress, the inflammation, the water retention, and also the slight muscle gain that they're getting. Very slight. But they've also got their time of the month thrown in the mix as well. So they've got an extra factor there, which is going to fluctuate it even more. So if you're a female going back into the gym, please do not freak out whenever you take your average scale weight next week and you're like, holy shit, it's gone up a pound, whatever it may be. It's fine. If you've been consistently losing weight and you're still in a calorie deficit, you will continue to lose body fat. The scale just can't tell a difference. Okay? Hopefully that all made sense. I don't think there's much else to cover, really. Again, there's so many fluctuations that's going to happen, so many things that can affect scale weight. Best way of doing it is taking your scale weight every single day and doing your weekly average and comparing the averages. That way, you will see the peaks and troughs, but you're also going to see the weekly average trend of that coming down. Females do the week 1, week 1, week 2, week 2, week 3, week 3, week 4, week 4. And fluctuations can caused by poo, time of day, food, time of month, what you're wearing, and aim for about a 1% drop per week in your body weight. Again, females doing the week 1, about 3 to 4% between week 1 and week 1, you're all good in the hood. Apart from that, if you can't be good at it. I'll see you in episode number 7, and there was a few replies of some good episodes to do in the questionnaire on my Instagram. If you're not following me, at Reggae Cosgrove Coaching on Instagram, I must get into the archive and pull those answers back out again, because there was gym training and all this here stuff that came up, which was quite good, and I didn't take note of them, but they should be saved in there, which is all good. So we'll cover them in the next episodes, and I will chat to you all later. If you can't be good at it.